Hello everyone, DonTheCrown here, and this video is going to be the companion video for my written guide for the Rosa 2 campaign build. Rosa 2 is a melee character, but has an incredibly easy time going through the campaign, and you're going to find the written guide here on heroic.gg. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. But overall, this character is pretty fun and pretty fast. We're going to be using frost blades and kind of give you an idea of what the gameplay looks like here. Here's me doing a campaign run 4 days ago. Basically, this character really didn't get nerfed all that much when you're looking at it for like a campaign kind of thing here. And yeah, it's actually a little bit stronger because they made it so that it's a little bit easier for you to go out and keep your aura up. You notice this like big circle that appears around Rosa. It's pretty much her realm. And when you're inside your realm, you're doing a little bit more damage and you're having like just a ton of series of buffs. And so you want that to be up as much as you possibly can. And so they actually made that easier to keep up now. And let's just hop through the guide real quick. I'm not necessarily going to go through everything, but I'm just going to talk you through the important things. One thing that's really important to note though is Rosa 2 is an attack-based build, which means your weapon plays a huge part in how much damage you can put out. So it's important to always keep an eye out for when you are looting stuff. In the like bottom right hand corner where I'm sitting, there will be like a kind of a feed of all of the stuff you're picking up. And just keep an eye out for weapons that have a green arrow. Green arrow means better. Typically it's gonna be more damage. And so just open your inventory, hover the item, and make sure it's actually an upgrade, and then you can equip it. This is very important to do. And we're not really gonna have a really great league mechanic this season for getting loot, I don't think. Overrealm, I think, will spawn a whole ton of enemies, but it's not going to be like how sequences were this last season, where in Outlaw you could get a weapon that would have like an additional 12% more damage on it, which would just carry you through an insane amount of zones. I think when you interact with the Overrealm thing now, you are going to get enemies. They'll pop up. They'll probably give you XP. They'll probably give drops. Double check that. Sometimes they've been known to not do that, but I don't think that we're going to get a ton of loot from this. And I don't think we're going to get any early game prisms or anything. I could be wrong. The one thing to note is that typically when you like supposedly clear out the enemies from this, the portal here might actually be interactable a second time. And you could go down into the Overrealm, or yes, over into the Overrealm. That might take quite a bit of time. So we're not really sure how long that will go. So maybe like try it one time, see if it gives an insane amount of loot. And if it does, that might be worth doing. Otherwise, if it doesn't give you a ton of experience and loot so that you can like kind of skip through other future sections, you probably don't want to worry about that. Now for our ideal gear by the end of the campaign, we're going to be looking for Scarlet Decree for a hat, Despised Shadow, or Mercurial Torment amulet. We're looking at picking up a rare belt because this is one of the only classes where we don't get Desire of Survival. And we're picking up 2 of the rings Silver Frost. We're gonna get 2 Oathkeeper, which is like an incredible sword you get out of the last treasure trove. And then the chest armor, the gloves, and the boots are all going to be coming off of the ground. And so because of this, especially in the campaign, your weapons as well are becoming off the ground. Highly recommend you like stop and kill like tough, like less tough elite enemies, the yellow guys, because they seem to drop a little bit more loot on average. Also, it's a little bit okay if in a treasure trove, especially one of the ones here that's giving you loot that you need to like stop and kill more enemies in there and potentially run it more than once. Obviously, you're going to want to run twice for Silver Frost here, so that might be a good opportunity there. Our final skill setup is going to be Frostbite, Haunt, Freeze Chance, Added Cold, and Precision Strike. Now, if you don't know what a shadow is, which is what haunts give, so this is basically a skill where we attack and then we're going to have shadows that appear that will hit the enemies around us, and they can all hit the same enemy. Just the very first shadow you hit with will do 100% of your base damage, and then every other shadow after that will only do 70% your damage. So in the campaign, you're going to have Haunt, which is going to cause you to basically have 2 more additional hits. And that is pretty strong for helping you clear out groups of enemies and for single targeting down enemies as well. Our hero trait is pretty easy. You don't need to worry about mana, basically. As soon as you activate this, you're going to be able to switch out your restoration skill from the compound source to the life source. And from this point forward, don't worry about mana at all. Don't really look at your mana bar. It always freaks me out a little bit. I see my mana going down. I feel like you have to press Q to restore it. It doesn't matter anymore. It just like you have power when your like Mercury realm is up, and you'll be like building up mana during that time as well. For our passive tree, we're going Goddess of Hunting. This gives us a lot of speed, gives us agility blessings. We do pick up the main talent Rush, which gives us 30% additional damage as long as we've moved in the last 4 seconds. So especially if you're fighting a boss, you want to like, you know, movement skill through them every 4 seconds or so, just so you can keep that buff up. Blade Runner is also really strong here as well. We're going to pick up this main talent that's called Joined Force, and Joined Force pretty much makes it so that your offhand weapon no longer attacks and instead is buffing your main hand weapon. And so, you know, that's just gives us quite a bit of damage. The third tree is Prophet, and this gives us a whole bunch of cold damage, but improvements to freeze. And you're probably not going to finish this particular talent tree while you're in the campaign, but if you do, we're going to pick up Frozen Lotus. Frozen Lotus is really nice because it helps us just like instant freeze enemies and just like do a lot more survivability in the campaign. And then after that, you can either go Sentinel or you can go and do Lich. Either one of those I think is a good 4th talent tree while you're in the like early part of the game. I'm not really going to go through all of the step-by-step. This is kind of like what the written guide is here for. Just like, you know, it kind of goes through all of the different stuff here you can kind of expect. I'm going to take out this Desire to Survival. We actually don't get this belt here. The first kind of weird item we might get though is Despise Shadow. This is a amulet where you basically get a 33% chance to gain +3 shadows when using Shadow Strike. What that just means is you have a chance to have a whole bunch of extra dudes just attacking enemies. That just gives you more damage. We also picked up 2 of these Silver Frost rings, which is pretty good. We have like Mercurial Torment, which comes in the 5th trove, which I don't think is actually better than Despise Shadow, but it is pretty nice as well. And make sure that when you kill the Lion King boss that you pick up your hero memory. It's going to look like this. Make sure you don't scrap it. Sometimes if you're not high enough level, you might just want to lock it to be safe. And then once you get to the final treasure trove, you want to farm up 2 of these Oath Keepers. Now this first line here will have a random element, so it can be cold, fire, or lightning. The cold one is slightly better than the other options, but it's not super mandatory that you have the right element, because we're going to be using Timid Curse, which just increases the amount of damage that hits do, as opposed to a specific element. And that's pretty much what you want to do with that. And that's pretty much it for the entire run. Make sure after the dragon that you also pick up the hero memory on the ground at the end of the campaign and you lock it, because you'll only be able to equip it at level 60, which you can't do right away. And I can't tell you the number of people who are like, oh my gosh, I scrapped my hero memory. What do I do now? And you just have to find another one in the world, because you can't really trade even very easily all that much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the campaign guide. Hopefully this video helped you out. Let me know what you think. I think that Rosa 2 is still super strong. I did a whole video talking about how her nerfs and stuff went, if you want to go check that out. And we'll see you guys again soon. Later.